Hey, this is Daniel for Adorama. Today we're going to talk about using a silk as our main light source and kind of the basics of how to do that. So I have here a 39" by 6" Scrim gym with a one-stop silk on it, and behind it I have a Profoto strobe lighting us up. So one of the first things you have to think about with this is when you're taking your silk and you're positioning on your subject, you want to have them as far back on the silk as possible. Actually, Tiffany's shoulders are lined up with the back of the silk. So all of this fabric is in front of her. That's important because it's gonna wrap around and help get an even light across her face. If she walks forward on the silk, or you put it right next to her like this, light can go behind her and you're gonna get kind of more shadows on the one side of your face. If you want that look, obviously you could go for that, but for this type of thing, you want a nice wraparound light. The other thing that I like to do is take some black Duvetyne cloth and put it on the bottom. In this case, because Tiffany's so tall, the silk's raised off the ground, but even if it wasn't, I would put some in the bottom here. That's gonna stop some of the light from hitting the ground and bouncing up. We don't want weird light coming from underneath and lighting her kind of like a horror movie. So we wanna keep that nice and even. The other thing that I have going on here anyways, because my studio has so much white light bouncing around, is we put a black card here just to kind of control the spill, because I wanna show you a reflector technique in a minute. So essentially, we've got the silk set up here, and you'll see that I have my strobe set up so it's kind of in front of her. And again, that's so that the light wraps around. The other thing is, and you can probably see it on my hand here, some of the light is spilling past my silk, right? The reason for that is because when I bring my reflector in later, I'll be able to bounce the raw strobe light back onto my model. If the strobe was behind the silk all the way, I'd have a much decreased amount of light coming to my reflector, giving it a lot less power, a lot less kick. So let's see what it looks like just like this, and then we'll add a reflector. So we've got a nice even light across her whole face. There's definitely some shadow on one side because the light's coming from one direction, but it's virtually even across her face, the exposure. So you get a nice even look, nice even light, and she can kind of move around as she wants. So right now she's looking towards the camera. She could even look away from the light source, and she would still get enough light on her face. Basically, she can move around wherever she wants, and it's gonna be really even. This is really nice for portraits too, because if you're working with somebody who's not, let's say, a professional model, they may not be able to stay, still exactly in the light. So this is a nice way to light somebody if they're gonna possibly move around a lot. So the other thing here to make it a little bit more dramatic and glamorous is we could add a reflector. I have Dave here with a 39" by 39" Scrim gym on a frame here with the silver and white reflective fabric. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna take the silver fabric and he's gonna bounce the raw light coming from the strobe back onto Tiffany. And you can see that that's way more light than you'd get if he was reflecting the light that came through the silk, right? Even though that's much closer there, you don't get nearly as much punch as you get by doing it this way. So once Dave gets the reflector in place, I'm gonna focus, nice. So one thing that I do here, even though I brought the reflector in, is I didn't increase my exposure. Basically, I want it to be a tiny bit overexposed because I want that kind of punch that you get with the silver reflector to add a kind of a fashion feel to it. So now, of course, with the reflector, we might want to have her working primarily towards the front or towards the reflector and not so much towards the back, but she still has some freedom to move around. So we'll take a few like this. Okay, so we decided to do one more quick setup while we were here. I had both Tiffany and Becca in the studio, and I had the silk set up. So what I did was I dropped the silk down onto its side to give me a nice wide spread and just moved them over here kind of closer to the wall. By bouncing the light into a foam core card and then through the silk, we have a really even spread of light, and I'm able to cover both of them very evenly with one light. It's very natural, they can move around, interact, and we'll get just really nice casual shots here. So let me see what this looks like. So a silk is a really versatile tool, and depending on how you position it and how you position your light through it, you can get so many different looks with it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time on set.